So, Elizabeth, what does feminism mean to you?
Well, I've been thinking, it's a really good question. I've been thinking about it a lot. And, where I keep coming out is that actually, and I have a history of a very active feminism, really active in the women's movement for many, many years. But I still want to say feminism means humanism to me. Because what I want is a world where every person, and in this case every woman, but every person lives a life that is a good life where we treat ourselves and each other with respect and with love and with justice. Mm-hmm. And to get there, we have to deal with all the oppressions. We have to deal with racism, with homophobia, with able-bodyism, classism, all those things. And I was thinking about back in the 70s there was a debate that people would have about whether you had to have the socialist revolution before the feminist revolution or the feminist revolution before the socialist revolution. And of course, you need it all. I mean, we have to be working. And that's kind of where my feminism has come out. I think the other part of the question was, is feminism still relevant? Of course, yeah, of course it's still relevant.
Okay.
And there's vast inequalities and men are still being paid more than women. There's not good daycare. There's all those things that we have to address, and that's just in North America. But in my personal life and in my connections and relationships with men, I'm less interested in being mad at them for what they do and more interested in thinking, where did I get caught? Where have I believed the lies that I was taught? Mm-hmm. And, when I was in high school, the guidance counselor said to us, the boys should choose careers, the girls should decide between careers and marriage, but you should have a career in case no one asks you. If you want.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Anna Colombo.
Oh, yeah. About maybe 20 years ago now, something like that, I saw a little clip in a film of Women in Black, about Women in Black, who are the peace activists in Israel, who every Friday would dress in black and go out and stand on the streets with their signs that say "Stop the Occupation." And I really liked what they were doing visually, and I really liked what they were doing politically. And so I started putting them in my artwork, and then I found a picture in a book, and it was an elderly woman who is said underneath, this woman is standing with Women in Black because her family was killed in the Holocaust and she doesn't want the Palestinians to suffer as she suffered. And so I did a portrait of her. And then I went to Israel to a Women in Black conference, which was kind of like stepping into my own artwork. And on the third day of the conference, I found her. I was hoping I would find her, and I had the portrait of her in my backpack. And we had this conversation that was kind of in English and Italian and French and all kinds of languages, but we really got along.
Like, how much did the personal affect your political?
Oh, completely. Absolutely,
Okay.
Completely, yeah. Yeah. And I was raised in the UN, so I was sort of raised to and I spent part of my childhood in Italy. I was born in Canada, but we lived in Italy from when I was 2 to 4. Mm-hmm. So I really grew up knowing that there was a world out there, knowing that, there's a danger of growing up in North America and never leaving, where you think everybody in the world eats cornflakes for breakfast or something. And it's a series of 31 quilts, mm-hmm. and they're made by about 300 people, some of it local, but a lot of it international, answering the question, what's your vision of peace in the Middle East? And that opened in 99, so I started that in 98. It opened in 99 at the Roundhouse in Vancouver, and I had been occasionally going to Jews for Just Peace meetings, and I noticed that people were saying the same thing. The same people would say the same thing at every meeting, and a month would go by, and then everybody would say the same thing again. And I thought, this conversation is really stuck. Mm-hmm. What I found when I did the Middle East Peace Quilt was that, well, first of all, because it was art, I could get into Jewish spaces that wouldn't allow speakers about Israel and Palestine. The Jewish Community Center wouldn't allow people to come in that they thought were going to be critical of Israel, or even positive about the Palestinians, because people are nervous and scared and whatever. and haven't unpacked all that baggage. But if it's just a quilt, it's not threatening to people.
Right.
It's just a piece of art, right?
Mhm. So what's your vision as a women artist in the 21st century?
Well, vision is a bit of a funny word to me because it
Okay.
suggests something far away or in the future. And so really, it's what I said at the beginning, you know, I'm going for a world as best I can
Mhm.
where people are treated well and justly, and where we can really see